Good afternoon, my name is Dela Idul and I'm the founder of Gift of Living Donation, and we're here today at the Holiday Inn London Bloomsbury to celebrate Black living donors who have donated a kidney to a loved one. We're going to hear stories and testimonies, and it's going to be such an emotional time of over 120 Black people who have donated a kidney to a loved one.
We are here to commend and celebrate living donors and donor recipients in the sometimes long journey of renal disease and transplantation. Furthermore, we are also here to mark the number of Black, Asian and minority ethnic people who are living with kidney disease.
A lot of the time in the public domain, especially around the health agenda and Black communities, there's a single narrative. And part of the issue is that we need to hear the stories and the realities and the experiences of those who are donors, living donors and recipients.
As someone who's had a transplant that subsequently failed, the power of those words never fail. I have glimpsed the world free of fatigue, of pain, cramp, itching, endless dialysis, than the daily struggle that we as kidney patients go through. I mean, everyone of here who has been a dialysis patient knows what I mean.
You know, once you have a kidney transplant, it's not the end of the process as many people might believe. It's a process. You're managing a chronic illness still, but it's nothing of the order of dialysis. I was on dialysis 3 times a week, 4 hours, and you know, you have Christmas Day, and the following day you'd be up early, bright and early, 7 o'clock in the morning to go and get dialysis on Boxing Day, and no one on the road. It was it's more. You get used to it, but you can never get that used to it. But Polly, in effect, my sister gave me my life back.
Becoming a donor taught me to do the right thing. It taught me that we as Black people are stronger than ever than we give ourselves the opportunity to discover. That to give an organ is safe and one of the most fulfilling, selfless and powerful things that you can do. I've learned I want to give back to others what I've learned about myself, that I am stronger than I'd imagined, and if you give love away, it truly does come back abundantly.
In 2006, and I had my kidney transplant from my sister. And like Richard says, she's given me the gift of life because with my sickle cell and my kidney problems, if I was on dialysis, who knows how long I would have lasted. I've got 3 grandchildren, 1 7, 1 3, and 1 1. Who knows if I would have lived to see my grandchildren. So Sharon, I love you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. My family thanks you from the bottom of their heart. And what you've done is so special. I'll never forget it. Thank you.
So we started a journey to try and recondition the Black mind and Black behavior about donating to someone else who needs help. Especially if it's a sibling to sibling, or in the case of organ donation, if it's a family relative to someone in need, as we've seen and we heard many examples in this room. And also the same goes on blood donation to a certain degree, where race is another factor, especially for our sickle cell community. And I want Black people to be seriously looking at carrying a deceased organ donor card, stem cell donor card, blood donor card, because we count. Black lives matter.
Researchers in 2006 cited that Black African, Black Caribbean and South Asian heritage people living in the UK are 3 to 4 times more likely to need a kidney transplant compared to the white population. And this is reflective of diabetes and hypertension, which has already been mentioned today. In addition, there is reported data suggesting that BAME people have concerns that their deceased organs might be used for medical research without their consent. And carrying a donor card, which I did think was, actually I have had this thought myself, would be tempting fate. Also for religion and faith beliefs were also cited as significant factors in not donating.
We've talked a lot about humility and we've talked about privilege. I have had a privileged career working with people like you and with you and for you, because together we have made a difference. And this today is just a fantastic event. And when Della said to me that she'd like to invite all the living donors who've ever donated, and probably their recipients too, and actually there'll be a few people who we might miss inadvertently because black donors may have given to non-black recipients. And I said, okay, yes, what do we need to do? And then we came up with a list of 400. I mean, that's phenomenal, 400 people from the black community. And a proportion of you are here today, and for all the people who are not here today, I hope that in some way they are connected with this event and what it means to all of you. But that in itself, I thought, that came as a surprise to me, in fact. And it made me think that we've got 400 people out there who can do such a good job, as Oren has said, as others have said, in really bridging the gap that we have. Raising awareness is one thing, and it's hugely, hugely important. But the real challenge that we have is getting those people who express interest, who understand living donation, but getting them engaged in actually being a donor and considering donation in a meaningful way, such that as they will refer themselves to a transplant centre to be considered. And that is our challenge now.
Someone once said, being brave means to know something is scary, difficult, dangerous, and doing it anyway. I have many close friends who know my situation, but never suggested coming forward as potential donors. Why? I know they're afraid of the consequences for themselves. I can fully understand their feelings. I know, like me, but I know that deep down, they like me, but they didn't love me. Bravery, in my opinion, is a sign of love. That you would give of yourself for someone else, despite your natural fears and apprehensions, is a true sign of fearlessness and devotion.
Listening to all these stories which I've heard makes me feel so inadequate as an individual, because I don't think there's anything more altruistic, more noble than the unconditional gift of giving.
Thank you all for your acts of kindness, and I hope to see many more of these luncheons to come.
Together we have made a difference, and this today is just a fantastic event.
Helping one person might not change the world, but it will change the world of one person.
It's such a journey for everybody to donate, whatever your journey is. Whoever the donor is, you have my wife where she is today, beside me, so I can hold her. Thank that donor, and thank each and every one of you as donors. Thank you.
We've come to the end of such an amazing evening, and we've had so many different testimonies and stories of people that donated a kidney to a loved one. We hope that today it has inspired you to come forward and be a living donor for a loved one with kidney failure, because their stories were just literally amazing. And it was so interesting to hear somebody who's climbed Kilimanjaro after donating. But one of the things that we've come across today, that it's about compassion, it's about love, and they would all do it again. So I hope today has been such an inspiration day, and you might decide, you know what, if they can do it, I can be a living donor for a loved one. Thank you so much.